Hello friends, I'm David Verma once again for you. As you know very well, we have been dealing in accountancy for class 12 CBSE syllabus, chapter number 7, dissolution of a partnership firm, right? So in today's section, what we are going to cover, modes of dissolution of a partnership firm, settlement of accounts. For this section 48 is applied, payment of firm's debt and private debts of partner, in which section 49 apply, right? So without wasting much time, let's start. So there are various modes of dissolution of a partnership firm. Fine. Very first mode of dissolution is that we are going to discuss by agreement. For this, section 40 is applied. Okay. By agreement. That's very simple. We know very well, two or more persons become partners due to the agreement. When they agree some certain terms and conditions between or among them, then only they become partners. Either they do this agreement orally or they do this agreement in written form, which is known as partnership deed, right? So when partnership is formed with the agreement, then it can be dissolved as well with the agreement, right? A firm is formed due to the agreement of the partnership, and the firm can be dissolved due to the same reason, right? Means whenever, any day, as many partners are there, they can sit and decide that they are willing to dissolve the firm. Okay, when all the partners are willing to dissolve the firm, then this is known as dissolution of the partnership firm by agreement. Understood the point? Okay, now let's move on towards the second mode of dissolution. So second mode of dissolution is compulsory dissolution. Here there is no wish, there is no agreement needed. Okay, this is a kind of compulsory situation. Okay, under Partnership Act 1932, section 41, fine, two situations are given if a partnership firm, if their business falls any of these situations, then the firm is dissolved compulsorily, right? It is itself dissolved considered according to the act. Fine. So you must be excited to know what are these situations. I just write down here. The very first is all partners or all except one partner become insolvent, right? First condition is what? Say for example, there are 4 partners A, B, C, D, right? And 4 of them have become insolvent. Then automatically, compulsorily, the firm will also be dissolved because there will be no one left to make the payment or to run the organization. What is the meaning of insolvent? Insolvent means the situation when a person is unable to pay his debt even after selling his personal property. Okay, all the partners have sold their personal properties, they do not have the money to pay back. So in that situation, they cannot run the organization. Okay, so that is why the firm is compulsorily dissolved. One condition, okay, this is all partners, and there can be one more situation. Say for example, B, C, D, they all have become insolvent. This is not insolvent. Okay, now there is no partnership because they have become insolvent. He alone cannot bear the burden of entire organization, okay, and he alone is not capable to make all the payments, then also this is considered dissolved, right? So the first condition under compulsory dissolution as per section 41 of Indian Partnership Act 1932, all partners or all except one partner become insolvent. What is the second situation? Let's understand. Business becomes unlawful. That's important point. Unlawful. Okay. The Indian government allows any business to be going on under Indian Partnership Act 1932, which is legal one. Any moment if it is proved that your business is illegal or going unlawfully, then it is considered compulsorily dissolved. Understood? So these two situations are given in the act in section 41, which are known as compulsory dissolution. Understood the point? Now let's move on to the another mode of dissolution. So another mode of dissolution is on happening of certain contingencies as per section 42. So according to Indian Partnership Act 1932, okay, under section 42 there are some certain contingencies are given, right? Okay, it depends on partnership deed. If your partnership deed mentions any of these four situations and this event has occurred, means the time has come for this event, then automatically your firm is considered to be dissolved. So what are these contingencies or events? Contingency means events. Okay, so the first event can be there, expiry of time, right? We know very well there are two types of partnership, one particular partnership and another partnership at will. So under particular partnership there are two situations. One, the partners become partner either for a fixed time period or for just completing any venture. Say for example they have taken the contract of completing a bridge. So as and when the bridge is completed, the venture is completed. Or maybe possible they have decided the time of their partnership being dissolved. They are the partners only for 5 years or 10 years. So whenever this time period gets completed, this is known as expiry of the time, right? So according to the partnership deed, if the time has expired, okay, then automatically as per the section 42 of Indian Partnership Act 1932, your firm is considered to be dissolved. Understood the point? Okay, another, completion of venture. Okay, this point is also related to particular partnership. Okay, either you decide the term or you decide the completion of any particular juncture, particular venture, right? So if that job or venture is completed, then automatically your partnership firm is considered to be dissolved, right? So these 2 points are related to particular partnership. Understood? Okay, now let's move further. These 2 situations, or if your partnership deed so provides this situation, means it is mentioned that if any partner dies accidentally, then the firm will be dissolved. So this event has occurred. Now automatically your partnership firm will be dissolved if you have mentioned this point into your partnership deed, right? Okay, another, this can also be a kind of point added to your partnership deed. Okay, if you have put this point also in your deed that if at any time any partner becomes insolvent, from the very moment our firm will be dissolved. So if this event takes place, your partnership firm will be considered dissolved. Understood the point? Okay, so there are 4 events. If any of these events happen as per your partnership deed, then your firm is considered to be dissolved, right? Now let's move on to the another mode of dissolution. So the next mode of dissolution is by notice, right? As per section 43 of Indian Partnership Act 1932, any partner, be focused here, any partner at any time can give a notice that he wants to dissolve the firm. He does not need the consent of other partners for that, right? He can dissolve it, okay, if he gives this notice, right? And this case is possible only under partnership at will. Like I told you, there are 2 kinds of partnership. One, particular partnership, already we have discussed. Under particular partnership, this compulsory dissolution will be applied. I just write down here, but not the all points, only initial 2 points were valid for that, right? Okay, and for this partnership at will, this by notice mode of dissolution will be applied and will be applicable, right? Okay, and by default it is considered that you have partnership at will, because if you do not mention the timing or the completion of any venture, then it is considered that you are having the partnership at will. So you just see the situation. Say for example, there are 3 partners. So any of those partners at any time can give a notice and he can mention his desire that he wants to dissolve the firm. Nobody can do anything legally. Practically, there can be a situation, then they can convince him, okay, they can bring him home and settle the problem that he is suffering from. Okay, the problem he is having in his mind, the confusion, disputes, anything can be sorted out. But legally, nobody can do anything because he has a right to do this according to Section 43 of Indian Partnership Act 1932. Understood the point? Now let's move on to the last mode of dissolution, that is dissolution by court. So section 44 is applied in this case and there are 6 conditions given in this section 44 of Indian Partnership Act 1932. Okay, under these 6 conditions, the firm is considered to be dissolved by court, right? So what are these 6 conditions I just mentioned here? So these 6 conditions under which dissolution is done by court as per section 44 are these, right? So any of these situation takes place, the court may give the order to dissolve the firm, right? One situation, if any partner becomes of unsound mind, if any partner becomes like this, who is not mentally stable, means he cannot take right decisions, okay, he may miscommit with the people, fine, it may lead to dispute, there may be a lot of problems. So in that case, for the public interest, the court decides to dissolve the firm, right? Another, if any partner permanently becomes incapable of performing his duty, means if he meets in any accident and he becomes handicapped, okay, or he becomes in the situation in which he is not able to perform his duty. Say for example, he has gone in coma, he has lost his memory, etc. There can be multiple reasons of that. Okay, so in that situation also court gives the judgment that the firm needs to be dissolved. Okay, another one, found guilty of misconduct. May be possible any kind of case is going on any partner, fine, and the partner is found guilty of that misconduct. May be possible he committed any crime, murder, theft or anything else, right? So in that case also the court may give order to dissolve the firm. Okay, another, breaches the agreement persistently. It is also possible, say for example, there are 3 partners X, Y, Z, okay, and Z is constantly breaking all the points mentioned in the partnership deed. Means whatever was agreed among all these 3, he again violating everything. Fine. So in that case, other 2 may go to court against him, and then the court also finds it that particular partner is again breaching the contract. Breaching the contract means breaking or violating the terms and condition of the contract or the agreement. So in that case also the court may give order to dissolve the firm. Understood the point? Okay. Next point is business can be run only at loss. The business has reached on a situation in which there is a huge loss. Okay, if the partners are willing to continue, then it can be run only at loss. There is no future of that business. So for the public interest and for the benefit of the partners, the court may decide or give the judgment to dissolve the firm. Okay, last point, court finds dissolution of the firm justified. That is a kind of right court has kept with itself. Due to any reason, the court can give order to any particular partnership firm to dissolve it. Okay, but any reason means there must be some kind of strong reason, but these are not mentioned here. At that time, you must be told what is the reason behind it, but court has a right. If it finds the dissolution of your partnership firm justified for the public interest, it can give the order. Right? So these are the 6 conditions mentioned in the section 44 as per the Indian Partnership Act 1932, in which the court has power to dissolve your partnership firm. Understood? Alright friends, so it was all about the modes of dissolution of a partnership firm. So we learnt about it that there are 5 modes. Okay, a firm can be dissolved by agreement or compulsory dissolution or on happening of certain contingency or by notice or by court. Okay, now it's time to learn about the settlement of accounts and payment of firm's debt and private debts. For that, section 48 and 49 respectively are applicable. So without wasting much time, let's discuss about them. So settlement of accounts as per section 48 of Indian Partnership Act 1932. There are 2 cases, one treatment of loss and another treatment of assets. Right? See, there are 2 different things. One, loss, and another, liabilities. Right? Okay. So loss can be there of current year, or these can be there the losses means of previous year. Okay, if we see the balance sheet, then in asset side we see profit and loss debit balance. That is what the loss of previous year. Okay, if it is accumulated for many years, right, so it needs to be paid. For that, what is the treatment at the time of dissolution of the firm? Say for example, any firm is being dissolved and they have accumulated loss. 1 point. Okay, another, sometimes you must have seen in a question, the particular partner's capital is also given, means debit balance of partner's capital. Okay, so in these 2 cases, these 2 are considered the losses of the business. Okay, so treatment of loss, I just make it losses. Okay, so what will be the treatment of losses? For that, very first, profits will be utilized, right? If you have in liability side any kind of profit or reserve, okay, any kind of profit and reserve, these are utilized very first. Okay, even then, if loss exists, then partner's capital, credit balance will be used. Fine, because that is there in the firm. Fine. Okay, so that balance will be used to compensate that loss. So even then, if the loss exists, the partners will bring money from personal property in profit sharing ratio. Okay, so in case of loss plus deficiency of capital, okay, how the things will be tackled? First of all, profits and reserves will be utilized, and then partners capital and credit balances will be utilized, and even then the loss exists, then partners will bring money from their personal property in their profit sharing ratio. Understood the point? Okay, now let's talk about the treatment of assets. We already know that assets are there in the business, so that at the time of dissolution, at the time of closure of the business, these can be sold in the market and the liabilities can be paid. Okay, so very first the assets are sold. Fine, assets are sold and the money is realized. Fine. Okay, so after selling the asset, whatever amount we get, very first we will be paying the third party liabilities. Now we need to understand what is the meaning of third party. See, first party is firm, second party is partners, and third party is outsiders. Now who are these outsiders? I just make a list of that. Okay, outsider means bank loan, okay, creditors, okay, bills payable, fine, bank overdraft, okay, and outstanding payments, advance incomes, etc. These are the third party liability. Okay, so very first, after selling the assets, the firm is supposed to pay the third party liabilities. Okay, then if any amount is left, then the firm is supposed to pay the second party liability. And what is the second party liability? Second party liability means partner's loan, if any. Second party liability means partner's capital as well, right? But first preference is given to the partner's loan and then partner's capital. Fine. Okay, if we see the sequence, then here it's better to write down the partner's loan, if any. Okay, so we sold the asset. Very first we made the payment to third party liabilities. After that, if any amount is left, then we make payments to partner's loan. After that also, if any amount is left, then we repay the partner's capital. Okay, because you know very well that business entity concept works here. Fine, the partner's capital is also a liability on firm. So when the firm is having money, then the firm is supposed to repay to the partners. Okay, now after it, if any amount is still left, then the partners supposed to distribute it in their profit sharing ratio. Right? If any residue of surplus is left, it is distributed among partners in their profit sharing ratio. Okay? One more time, understand it. First we sell the asset, whatever money you get, we make the payment to third party liabilities. After that, if any amount is left, then we make the payment to partner's loan. If any amount is left, we make the payment to partner's capital. If any amount is left, it is divided between or among the partners. If it is left. Now, this is a situation when ample amount of money is available. But if ample amount of money is not available, then what's going to happen? Say for example, only third party liability would be paid. Okay, then what about the remaining amount? What about the remaining losses? The partners are supposed to bring it from their personal property. Okay, because this is the feature of partnership, unlimited liability. Every partner will bear the loss in their profit sharing ratio. They will bring money from their personal property and repay the debts of the firm. Understood the point? Okay. Or you can say that they won't be getting this, they won't be getting this, they won't be getting this. Fine. They will be losing it because unlimited liability. Okay. If the amount is not sufficient to even pay this, then the partners will bring money from their home. Okay. That's what the meaning of unlimited liability. Fine. Now, it was all about the settlement of accounts. Now, let's understand the payment of firm's debt and private debts. Very first, we will understand the difference between firm's debt and private debts, and then we will learn how the payment will be done. Okay, in which condition the priority will be given to which debt. Fine. So, let's understand it. So, section 49, payment of firm's debt and private debts. Okay, very first, let's understand the meaning of this. Okay, if there is any loan or debt on the name of firm on which firm is entitled to make the payment, right? The firm owes that amount. So that debt is known as firm debt, for which firm owes the amount to any outside. For example, bank loan. Understood? Okay. Now, if any partner has taken loan on his personal capacity for the work of the firm, that is okay, but he has taken on his personal capacity, that will be known as private debts. Okay, means partner owes in his personal capacity. Alright, for example, loan from friend, loan from wife, or any relative. Understood? So that will be known as private debt. Fine. Now you must have understood the meaning of firm's debt and private debt. Okay. Now let's talk about the payment. Okay. When the dissolution of the firm takes place, then already I have explained to you the assets will be sold out. Okay. Then the money will be realized. Now this money very first will be utilized to make the third party liability, and bank loan is also the third party liability. Okay, now there are two situations. If this amount is sufficient to make this payment, then there is no problem. But if this amount is not sufficient, then what's going to happen? Okay, so let's understand. whatever assets we have, these are the property of firm. Fine. So I just write down a rule here. Firm's property, okay, first will be utilized to pay the firm's debt. Right? Okay, that is what the first. And if any amount is left, then it will be utilized to pay the private debt. Means first priority will be given to firm's debt. Out of what amount? Firm's property. Okay? Understood the point? Now, with the personal property of the partner, the rule gets opposite. Means, out of the personal property of the partner, very first, private debt will be paid. Okay? Because if the partner's wife has made the payment to him, then if he sells out his house, if he sells his car, then his wife loan must be paid or his friend's loan must be paid. Understood? If any amount is left, then only his personal property can be utilized to pay the firm's property. We were talking about here. Okay? Let's understand these things with the examples. Okay. Say for example, there is the bank loan of 5 lakh. And after selling the firm's property, the firm is getting only 4 lakh rupees. Okay. So very first this 4 lakh will be utilized to pay this. Now 1 lakh is also to be paid. For that, the firm will go to what? Partner. Okay. All the partners in their profit sharing ratio will bring money from their personal property. Understood? So this rest 1 lakh will be arranged from the private property of the partners, not particular partner, in their profit sharing ratio. Understood? Okay. Now let's take the another example. Okay. Say for example, a partner A took loan from his friend of rupees 2 lakh from his friend. Okay. Now there is a situation in the organization that the organization is already having insufficient balance. Okay. They are lacking of 1 lakh rupees already. Okay. They are going to use the personal property. So suppose there are two partners A and B, and this 1 lakh liability to be borne by both of them 50,000 each. Right. Now this A, this is the position of A. So A sells his personal property and he gets 2,20,000 rupees. Okay. So see, here he is supposed to pay 50,000 also because he has to bear the firm's liability as well. Okay. But very first the amount realized from his personal property will be utilized to make the payment of this 2 lakh. Now remaining 20,000 will be given to firm. Okay. Now you must be thinking, what about the remaining 30,000? He will be declared insolvent and it will not be paid. Right. So that's gonna happen. Because when there is the insufficiency of fund, then we have to focus on some rule. So what are the rules? I just very clearly mentioned, firm's property first will be utilized to pay the firm's debt. If any residue is left, then it will be utilized to pay the private debts up to the share of that particular partner, not more than that. Understood? Similarly, if there is the insufficiency of fund, the private property means personal property very first will be utilized to make the payment of private debt of particular partner, and if any residue is left, that will be utilized to make the payment to firm's debt, but up to the extent of his share, not more than that. Right? Even then, if there is any deficiency, it is not met, then the partners become insolvent. Okay, and in that case, the payment becomes bad debt for the outside people. Understood the point? Alright friends, so it was all about the modes of dissolution of partnership firm as well as the section 48 and 49 regarding settlement of accounts and payment of firm's debt and private debts respectively. I hope you must have understood everything pretty well. Very soon I'm going to meet you with the another video. Till then, thank you. Bye bye.